this particular landscape has been ever-changing since we actually began designing this cloud-based capability back in 2005, essentially. And I put up this screen here to put in perspective now what's happening that contractors have to acknowledge. And this is really generally taking a look at the contractor side of the obligation right now. And we have, many contractors, in addition to government organizations, that are using our capabilities every day in the cloud. But on the contractor side, we have both the end item journey, if you will, through to getting products shipped and data transmitted through to the government. And then we have the property side and their journey as well in the use of government systems and getting data consistently reported. And I think one of the things I want you two to comment on is start off with a little bit of a recap so people understand why would the data we look at be different for those end items going through versus the data when it comes to property and how property gets managed through, and then what role DCMA plays in all of this, so we're all clear on the roles and responsibilities in this sort of ecosystem.
Right. So I think we've kind of discussed it prior. The responsibility incumbent upon property managers to properly mark and register the required assets as dictated by their contracts, whether it's back to the IUID Registry or iRAPT. And, the DCMA is kind of the governing body that kind of makes sure all of these things are happening properly, performing the audits when those have to take place. And the registry itself is kind of the main repository where all of this information is housed and where reporting can take place, things of that nature.
Yeah, and as far as the two avenues there for property under 007 or 003, as it relates to end items, manufacturing goods to the government for the first time. Again, UC Web in compliance with both DFARS and more. As far as the difference in data, Pete, as we discussed many a times on other webinars, the process is a bit different. However, both avenues, are set in UC Web. Now, Darryl mentioned the IUID Registry. Well, whether you're sending directly to the IUID Registry for some transactions related to, property, whether you're transferring an IUID, for example, or you're managing an acquisition shipment that you're shipping some goods you manufactured for the first time to the government, so that you can send that data directly to the iRAPT. That's all set forth right in UC Web in an intuitive manner where it guides the user along in processing that data to help them with each path here that you set forth in this diagram.
And just to be clear, Bob, does anyone who's using UC Web today, do they need to ever go into iRAPT or the IUID Registry in order to make this, data flow, work for them?
Well, to link UC Web, UC Web does integrate into both systems. To do it, there's a little configuration involved, which our support team is great in setting up, or even myself can set up for you. But yeah, you've got to gain an account with the iRAPT, and it's not necessarily the main iRAPT account that you might go into to look at your, your historical invoicing or documents you've worked with in the past. But it's an account that allows you to send files from UC Web into the back end of iRAPT for that quick pathway. And then also with the IUID Registry, there's a simple sign-up, very simple sign-up for an API account that enables UC Web to go ahead and communicate with the IUID Registry as well.
Right. But once that setup's taken place, right, it all takes place from within UC Web, right to these systems.
Exactly, and we've designed UC Web so that you can push all that stuff out of UC Web into both systems, and you get notifications, as you do, whether it's an email notification or however you want to receive those notifications, so that you don't have to spend as much time in those systems. This way you can harness all that auto ID technology. You're not hand typing all that information into the iRAPT.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if I've spent some time in the iRAPT alone, creating UIDs, and it's a cumbersome process. You really got to put together all the little pieces just to construct one UID. But in our system, of course, once you've inducted those UIDs or even that property data, stock property, using an import of some data from an ERP system or something that you've API'd and integrated directly right into UC Web, to reuse that data is so important in this process and really making a good experience for property managers and personnel.
Yeah, and one area that you see at the bottom of that slide there, Pete, the plant clearance automated reutilization screening system, or what we call PCARS, it's a system used to automate the process for reporting, screening, requisitioning, and dispositioning excess government property located at contractor facilities. So whether, if a contract ends, you've completed your obligation, if there's excess material or inventory, what do I do with it? So PCARS asks you to create these inventory schedules that can be uploaded into that system, and then you can, like I said, a number of different things can happen with it. You can be instructed to destroy it, throw it away, send it back, ship it, or sell it to another contractor. And the summer release of UC Web is going to make all of these activities much easier for contractors and screeners, such that they don't have to use templates or actually get on the PCARS system itself and start, keying and hand jamming all that information in, which is a redundant effort. It's time consuming. It will be fraught with error, and so UC Web is really going to make that whole PCARS process much more easier to take on and accomplish.
And some might be saying, well, why do I need to use PCARS? Well, it's just like any other property management related topic. If FAR Clause 52.245-1 is called out on any of your contracts, which of course leads to all the other DFARS clauses that go under that umbrella, you're contractually obligated to produce PCARS transactions, just like you are to report property.
Right.
Yeah, and I should add here that if there is anyone who is currently using UC Web and want to get deeper into how the application can do these things for you that aren't currently using them, to let us know, because what we want to do is make sure that those are benefiting from all parts of your organization, not just the people who are in production or who are in property, but even those that are in the finance office that have to maintain and manage these transactions through to the government. Because I think a lot of times, that part of the enterprise, I don't want to say gets ignored, but doesn't necessarily enter the discussions early enough. So the efficiencies of when production is handling the data or property is handling the data, it can flow right up through the administrative process of getting it reported. So please engage us in that discussion if that's something that you still want to take advantage of in the system and you're not now.